Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania, it's the Bill and Corey Show.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Welcome back, another live edition Bill and Corey Show.
Yes.
We're actually starting to think about our Halloween edition here. So trying to top last year's is going to be really hard to do because we're not allowed to have fireworks in here. Okay, first question. A potential OEM customer has a panel. It's not really a question, I guess. Actually, they're looking for a regulator.
What does OEM mean, Bill?
As a panel, they have a panel that they build for something else.
Yeah. It's an original equipment manufacturer. It's
Yes. Original equipment manufacturer. So it's not like a mantra thing.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a acronym.
Okay, and they are an acronym, and they're revising. So they have a panel they build. I don't have it. I could show a photo, but the photo didn't even look like the regulator they want on it. So they have a different regulator manufacturer. There's other people that make regulators, not just us.
No, we're the only ones. Come to Matheson.
And so they, for whatever reason, want us to quote a regulator that's like one they have.
Yes.
They want to substitute for the one they currently have. And they're looking at 35. Well, we decided that it was what they had. What they needed. No, we'll tell you what you needed.
Well, some people come to us and they're like, "This is what we're doing. What would you recommend in these cases?" And so this is what this.
So we looked at it. Yeah. We looked at the other persons and vendors of the regulator.
The inferior product they were.
We couldn't match it exactly, but it was a small diameter body. And it's like, hey, that looks like could be a mini reg. And it's short height. So their regulator is actually about the same as this is a modified mini reg.
Which series is that?
The 3570 series. It's a single stage, high purity miniature regulator, stainless steel
for miniature gases.
For miniature gases, and we like to. This one is actually aluminum, but you get the idea. So one of the things they had was that they had the knob removed and had the stem locked. Well, on our miniature reg, we have, you want a close up on this? You're not even be able to see that. We got.
Yes, I see that.
This is a special one that we get made from our vendor. And it's got it's tapped for like a little Allen screw or hex screw. And so you can set the pressure and then
crank it down.
Tighten it in there and you're set. So it ain't moving. Mm-hmm. And then if you really want to do it, you just...
You can always loosen it and move it if you want.
But it keeps people from going, what's this?
Yeah.
We all have bosses that do that kind of thing. So...
you see a knob, you want to turn it. You're just like,
what does this do?
You see a button, you want to hit it. It's human nature.
The button that goes ping.
Yeah.
And then they wanted mounting holes on the back. Typically, we don't have. It's so small. Why would you?
Mounting holes on the front would be weird.
Yeah, it would be. Well, the salespeople might start asking for that. So they wanted mounting holes in the back. Typically, we don't do mounting holes for a mini reg
because you're not really mounting a mini reg.
It's too small. But we have done them with mounting holes in there, professionally drilled.
And not for nothing, it looks really sleek, all black.
It's kind of slick looking.
Yeah, that looks. It looks. Okay. Modern, nice.
Yeah, they want stainless steel, so I don't know if we're going to get it black.
Oh, okay.
So
we can paint stainless steel black, right? And just powder coat it.
So they also wanted. We went through the porting and stuff like that. Yeah, let's zoom in again. This one actually says in out, in out, but they wanted to have one in. Zoom back out. They wanted one in and 3 outs. It's like, we can get that done too. Yeah. So we're getting that quoted, and we just sent the request for a quote a day or two ago. So they're just trying to figure out the quote on our end. So yeah, we can get a regular regulator and have it modified, different porting, different.
The key here is though it's OEM, so they're going to buy multiples of these.
Right. If you wanted to buy one,
if you want to buy one, we're like,
because the lead time could go from a couple days to like 6 months or something.
Yeah.
But if you get OEM and you're buying a truckload, then
we're good to go. Not a truck. I mean, just typically.
It's just a ton. Don't factor
50. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a salesperson.
Next question is, we've been, past week, questions on submittal drawings for, what typical we'll call them outline drawings, but they're drawings you'd submit to the customer for their approval for a project and stuff. Gas cabinets, every gas cabinet we sell that has now done is that has like panels in it or manifolds or
Things
something.
you don't buy on the online store cabinets, maybe not, but
yeah. So we send a submittal drawing and say, hey, make sure this is what you want.
yeah. Because it's an expensive thing.
It's expensive.
We want to make sure it gets done correctly.
Yeah, oh no, I wanted the outline on the other side.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's hard to ship cabinets. You just can't put them in the. Can't take them to the post office.
No. Send it back.
Doesn't work that way. So we're going to show kind of typical submittal. You want to put up the first graphic, and this will be Corey to talk about it?
Yeah, no, so this is so a submittal drawing would be a more specific drawing than this. So this is our outline drawing. This is an outline for.
Oh, you can use it.
You can use it as a submittal drawing, but if somebody asks for a submittal drawing, we usually take out all the noise on the drawing.
Yeah.
And only show the things that you're actually getting. So on this one, you can see we have a bunch of options and little bubbles around it. And where can you find these?
Oh, the submittal drawings, the help center of the online store, or on the product page.
Or on the product page. And now they're
Store.mathesongas.com.
that's in gas.com. Now, not every one of our products has a drawing like this, but most do.
We have some are.
Our big ones, our popular ones.
Well, then people are going to know what's popular then.
Yeah, switchovers are popular.
We don't have any Taylor Swift drawings.
No.
So, sorry. Want to go to the next graphic? So there's different parts of the drawing.
Yes. And so here it'll tell you via our code, so if you have a 523-A.
So this is for matrix switchover.
For matrix switchover.
Yeah.
The A is a 0 to 30 PSIG delivery pressure. C's are 0 to 150. And then the 523, as I said, the 523 series is our brass version, and it has Buna seals. The flex hoses are always stainless steel. And then the 524 series, which would be all stainless steel. So 524 series -A, and this would tell you what those different things are. You can go to the next one. And then it points out to our little bits and pieces, how to mount it, our slots for our hardware, so you can mount it easily. Usually we want to sell it with the, what's the stuff called?
U channel.
Yeah, the U channel is always good to get with this. Tells you the interstage relief valve, because sometimes, if you have nitrogen, sometimes you don't care if it just vents to the atmosphere, but sometimes you're doing a gas that is flammable or corrosive, and you want to make sure to pipe away from that relief valve, so it's good to know.
Well, the relief valve's not supposed to lift, but
no,
if
it's
it
not
does
supposed to lift, but
if it's hydrogen, you don't want to vent that.
You don't want to lift it in the room, typically, so you want to know about that and the relief valve connection, so all that stuff's on there.
Please raise your hand.
And then the next
slide.
Next slide, please. And then here we go. Next slide. How old are we? And there, specifics on our line regulators, and the whole switchover CV, because everybody wants to know what the flow is, and it gives you some good information on that. And then, if you want to see the notes down there, it's 20 pounds backplate, and things of that nature.
The color, all sorts of things.
The color,
Nitro blue.
Nitro blue, which sounds really awesome paint.
Yeah, it does.
It's rad. The paint was created in the 80s. Nitro.
Next. I think we have one more slide on there.
And then here are some of the options, which I was talking about. So if you want a submittal drawing and you're not going to get the low pressure isolation valve.
Who's pointing to the low pressure isolation valve?
I'm pointing to it. I'm sorry. No, I didn't mean the laser pointer. No, that wouldn't work. And so we would take that off of there for a submittal drawing, but it gives you an idea what you're buying. You can look at this and emergency shut-off valves and things of that nature. So they're just different options on there as well.
That's all we have to say about that.
And that's all we have to say about that. So yeah, our drawings it's hard to make drawings fun, but we tried.
Okay.
And to be honest, when a customer calls me up and asks me a question, I pull a lot of the information that I use to answer their questions from those drawings. So not that we don't like talking to people, but the information is we try to make it easily attainable.
We don't want to have a busy signal every time you call. So we want
it's true.
Get that info out there. Save it for the good questions.
Yes.
Okay, next question. What is the bonnet with respect to a gas regulator? That's kind of like an odd question, really doesn't mean much. But, they're asking about the bonnet.
Well, yeah, that means
More-
a lot.
well-
It's a huge part of the regulator.
Yeah, I know it is, but
doesn't mean much.
it's got more question here. The question is more generally, we want to deliver
I
very
think
low.
more specifically would have been.
I'm just taking.
I know, but
verbatim,
who's
man.
more generally, and then they get specific.
This is real. This is a
No, I
real
know.
question.
No, sick. That's where you put the sick part at.
We don't-
Because they like that. We're
Sick?
quoting the
You're
person
sick?
here.
You're sick. You should stay home.
SIC.
Okay. We, that's really they, want to deliver very low pressures of corrosive gases, nitric oxide and
No,
nitrogen.
no, and no.
And no. Yes. Nitrogen dioxide, that's one nitrogen, couple oxygens. From vacuum to 1 bar. 1 bar is 14.5 psi. The 3494 series looked like it would work for us, but we weren't sure about the nickel-plated brass bonnet. So this is the 3494, and it's funny, I walked back at production this morning, they were building one. I thought, yeah, I could have just stolen that.
Coincidence.
But we had this built for the show yesterday. This is just the prop. The stuff's not in there that tight. I hope you can see. So it's shiny. You want to zoom in?
You can tell. You can sort of tell the difference in the looks of the stainless steel
so
versus
this is
the brass.
nickel-plated brass.
It's a little bit darker.
Yeah, so they have, yeah, I would have concerns too with trying to put a corrosive gas and having nickel-plated brass. But this is not a wetted part. You can zoom back out. The bonnet is not a wetted part.
And by wetted, we means it doesn't touch gas.
It's not going to see the gas going
Yeah, it doesn't
through
see the
so
gas.
the process gas.
Yes.
So
We'll show you via this regulator because this is an actual regulator.
yeah, I'm
that
not
we don't-
taking
we're
the
not
bonnet
gonna-
off of
we
this
don't-
one.
So
Okay.
for the record, we never take apart regulators that we then will sell to customers. These are always
Yeah.
from our
This is from our
carefully curated museum.
which it is. So this is one we've had before on the show. So if it looks familiar from past shows, it is.
To go to.
So this is you need a big wrench and it's a lot of torque.
And they're usually
to
not
do
this easy to screw off.
So
Just,
this is
just I just want to.
it was pre-loosened before the show. So we're gonna have parts come off.
Bill's just really strong.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the problem with taking apart regulators. The stuff falls apart in the bonnet. So it's the bonnet. That's good. Zoom in. So there's a spring under here, and they got a spring underneath. And it's got a little metal thing. It's got a little button, and it's I would suggest don't take it apart. It's important which way the button is oriented.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's not the same.
Well, because it pushes against the diaphragm.
Yeah, it's not the same on
I
each
know
side.
from experience.
Oh, okay. There you go.
That it messes up the
No,
characteristics of the regulator if you get the button flipped around.
Yeah, it's hard to tell which way.
Yeah, it is hard to tell.
I feel like it would go this way.
So this is the diaphragm. So that's on this side of the diaphragm will see gas.
And this side.
This side won't see gas.
No. I mean, it'll see air from.
It'll see air, right?
It'll see nitrogen,
Yeah, it won't
oxygen,
see,
argon.
Yeah, it won't see liquid or something. Liquid or something. Yeah. So it won't see the process gas.
That's.
And if there's
specifically.
if there's a leak of the gas, which is bad, it will go into the bonnet, and that's why we have the bonnet vent port. But it's not going to mess up your process.
Yeah.
If you have a leak, it's your regulator's messed up.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. You have other problems.
But yeah. So a lot of it gets. It depends. Some people have stainless steel bonnets. Some are nickel-plated brass, and the lower end regulator. Not really lower end.
Any plastic bonnets?
No.
You could theoretically do a plastic
we
bonnet.
had it. We saw it. Yeah. It's got to hold the spring.
I know it does.
I mean,
that's
this is pretty strong because
I know, yeah.
you have a
You do.
Yeah, spring compressor.
And that spring is not that spring
Yeah,
is
it's
no
pretty-
joke. It's a
good sized spring.
Yeah.
Here, so
It's not like you can squeeze the spring with your hand.
no, you can't.
You can't.
If you could, they just have like a push button.
You
thing.
possibly,
You
yeah,
push
yeah,
it down and adjust the pressure
Okay.
or something like that. Oh, I put it together without this. Oh well. No.
We'll sell it at a discount.
This is going back to the museum for someone else. I'll put it back in. Yeah, you know what? That's all the questions we have for this week. Now,
Well, not all the questions. We actually have one more, but we're out of time. You should have
we're
said we're out of time.
Oh, we're out of time. I don't want to keep you here all day.
Yeah.
We got to get back to work. So next week and the week after, I will be away on vacation. And then so we'll have a lot. So we'll have best ofs the next 2 weeks. And they're all best
And we'll
of.
collect some really good questions.
And then so 3 weeks from today, we'll have another live edition of the Bill and Corey Show.
Set your VCRs.